Insurance companies have one goal after a car accident: to pay you as little as possible. They'll hit you with a lowball offer, claim your medical treatment wasn't necessary, and then even try to blame you for the crash. But here's the truth: you don't have to accept any of it. There are proven strategies to shut down their tactics and demand every dollar that you deserve. I'm Peter Jaraysi, a personal injury attorney who's handled thousands of claims, and I'm going to show you how to prevent insurance adjusters from lowballing your cases and how to maximize your settlement instead. Now, first things first, you've got to understand how it is that insurance companies work. Insurance companies aren't on your side. They're a for-profit business, and their goal is to try to keep as much of their money as they possibly can. And insurance adjusters, from the moment they sign up with the insurance companies, they're trained to pay as little as possible on the claims that they're managing. And the way they minimize your claims is by using several tactics. One of these is offering a quick lowball settlement offer before you know the true extent of your injuries and your case. The other way they do that is by disputing your medical treatment and claiming it wasn't necessary. And finally, the other way they do this is by blaming you partially for causing the incident. Now, here's how you work around this. Never accept the first offer. The first offers that come through are almost always way less than what your case is actually worth. The insurance adjusters will often pressure you into kind of a take it or leave it situation so that you feel pressured to take the settlement. What you do instead of taking the offer, is reject the offer and then come back later when you've got supporting documentation after you've completed your treatment, present that to the insurance company in a reasonable demand, and then start the negotiating process from there. One of the most important things you can do in a case is getting immediate and consistent medical treatment. The reason for that is that gaps in care generally give the insurance companies an opportunity to say, hey, we don't think that this injury that you're claiming is related to the incident that you claim it was caused by because you waited 2 weeks before you even saw a doctor. How do we know that this wasn't caused by something else? And then the other way they attack it is by saying, hey, you weren't consistent with your medical treatment. We see all these gaps in your treatment. You must not be as hurt as you're claiming to be. Now, here's the way to work around this. Even if you don't feel pain immediately after a car accident, the best thing to do is to go and get checked out anyway. Adrenaline often masks the pain that you experience immediately after an accident, so you don't know what's really going on until later that day or even the next day. And even past that, ensuring that you're being seen by the right doctors and specialists when it comes to treating your pain is even more important. Having what's often referred to as a causation statement in your medical records, linking the pain that you're experiencing to the car accident, is crucial. Now, having this immediate care and then the consistent treatment throughout will make it much more difficult for an insurance adjuster to lowball the value of your case. Another important thing to do is to gather strong evidence to back up your case. Now, when we're talking about liability and proving who's at fault, photos and videos of the accident scene and other independent witness statements are absolutely essential. And of course, the police report is one of the most important documents that you can collect and present to an insurance company when you're asking for money. When it comes to the photos and videos, you want to have photos of all the vehicles involved, of the accident scene, take pictures of anybody else that's been involved in the scene to make sure that you preserve as much evidence as you can of what happened that day. You also want to make sure you take pictures of any visible injuries that you might have and the damages to both vehicles. Now, when it comes to proving up the injury portion of your case, the damages portion of your case, having fantastic medical records is absolutely essential, and then making sure you have any appropriate documentation for your lost wages. When it comes to your medical records, you want detailed records of each visit, diagnosis codes, recommended treatment plans, and a causation statement, as we mentioned before. And as far as lost wages are concerned, you're going to need a document from your employer that indicates how much time you missed based on the car accident that you sustained. Now, in conjunction with this, you're going to need something from your doctor indicating that you couldn't work as a result of the injuries you sustained in the car accident. Now, in most cases, having all that evidence, all that documentation will really help establish a solid foundation for your case. The next thing I would tell you is to not give a recorded statement to the at-fault driver's insurance company. Remember, insurance companies and adjusters are not on your side, and they're going to do everything they can to minimize your payout. This is their opportunity to get you on the record saying something that could jeopardize the value of your case. Their goal is to really downplay your injuries or shift some of the blame onto you during the statement. I've seen them ask tricky questions like, were you feeling okay after the accident? Or is it possible that you were distracted? Answering these questions could really put you in a position where your case could be ruined from day one. Now, here's what you do instead. You get your lawyer to handle all the communication with that insurance company moving forward. The best thing you can do in these situations is just to keep your mouth shut and let your lawyer do the talking. That way you protect yourself from saying anything that might possibly damage your case. Now, this isn't the only opportunity that insurance companies have to downplay your injuries or shift blame. Most people don't think about this after a car accident, but insurance companies are watching your every move when it comes to your social media or online activity. If you're posting yourself doing things that you claim you can't do in your demand package or in any communication you have with the insurance company, you've lost all credibility. So my suggestion to you would be to stay off of social media entirely. Do not give the insurance company any ammunition to suggest that you are not as injured as you claim to be. Now, the next thing you need to do is discover how much coverage is actually available in your case. Now, in most states, it's difficult to get this information because a lot of states are what they call non-disclosure states. But if you do live in a disclosure state, request that information. Find out what the insurance company's policy limits are. And that way, when it comes time to sending a demand for your case, you know exactly how much coverage is available and you can demand the maximum if it applies to your case. Now, here's where the policy limits can become a little bit tricky. If the at-fault driver only has $50,000 in coverage and you've accumulated over $100,000 in medical bills and lost wages and other damages, then you're in a tough situation. In that case, you would demand the full $50,000, and then you would have to seek recourse possibly through your own insurance company, through your uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage. Now, most people don't really understand what this line item of coverage is or what it does, but in short, what it's meant to do is act as a supplement to the coverage that you would get from the at-fault person in the case, or it would supplement in the event that the at-fault person doesn't have any coverage at all. Now, I don't have the exact statistics on me, but I'll tell you this. In a majority of our cases, the at-fault driver has the absolute minimum required under the law as far as coverage is concerned, and we're often left pursuing our clients' uninsured motorist or underinsured motorist coverage if they have it. Most states don't require you to have uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage, and it's so important. In a case like we just described where we have $50,000 in available coverage and $100,000 in damages, it makes it really difficult for you to fully recover if you don't have that supplemental coverage on your own. You'd effectively be left footing the bill for the remaining $50,000. So that's why it's so important to have that line item of coverage to ensure you're protected in the event that the other person that caused the wreck doesn't have enough coverage to cover your damages. And when you're aware of all the policies available in the case and all the coverage in the case, it gives you a lot more leverage when it comes to negotiations. If you know your case exceeds the value of the policy, then demand the policy limits. And if they don't pay, then you take the aggressive route, file a lawsuit immediately. The reason is you've now put them in bad faith territory. Now, every state's laws are different when it comes to handling bad faith situations and dealing with third-party and first-party insurance. But in most cases where you've demanded the full policy limits available in a case and the insurance company has refused to pay when they really should have, then you've got a huge point of leverage on them if you file that lawsuit. Now, if that's intimidating to you, the prospect of filing a lawsuit and going through the legal process, my next suggestion is for you. Hire a lawyer who knows how to maximize settlements like this when you're dealing with a car accident. A good lawyer will know how to use your position to leverage it into the best possible settlement. And there are actually studies out there that show that most people end up with 3 to 4 times the amount than they would have had they gone at it by themselves. Now, when you're looking for an attorney, you're going to want to look for one that specializes in these types of cases, has tried cases themselves, and knows how to negotiate appropriately. And at the end of the day, if you want to get the most possible for your case, you cannot be afraid of the insurance companies and afraid to be part of the legal process. If you need to file a lawsuit to ensure you get fair compensation, then do it. Don't play their game. If you can show them that you are a risk when it comes to taking your case to trial, then they'll pay you a lot more than the person that just settles at the first bite. We've just gone over how to stop insurance companies from lowballing your settlement offer after a car accident. But there are secrets that many people don't know about how to maximize the value of your car crash settlement. Check out this next video where I explain the 5 secrets to maximizing your settlement payout after a car crash. And we'll see you over there.